What happens when you strip away distractions? Japanese wisdom. Have you ever wondered why your mind feels so cluttered, even though you're not really doing anything productive? What if we told you that the secret to a clearer mind and a better life isn't about adding more things, but actually removing what's already there? We live in a world that's completely overloaded with stuff. Our phones buzz every few seconds, our homes are packed with things we barely use, and our minds race with 1,000 different thoughts at once. We're constantly told that more is better. More apps, more features, more content, more everything. But here's something interesting that the Japanese have understood for centuries. Sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is take things away instead of adding them. Today, we're going to explore what happens when we strip away all those distractions using ancient Japanese wisdom. And trust us, what you're about to discover might completely change how you think about your daily life. Because while the rest of the world is busy collecting more and more, the Japanese have mastered the art of letting go. So let's dive into this together and see what happens when we remove instead of add. The Japanese way of seeing less as more. When we think about Japanese culture, what usually comes to mind? Maybe sushi, maybe anime, or perhaps those beautiful Zen gardens with perfectly raked sand. But there's something deeper going on beneath the surface. The Japanese have this incredible relationship with simplicity that goes back hundreds of years. They've built an entire philosophy around the idea that removing distractions actually makes life richer, not poorer. Think about traditional Japanese homes for a moment. They're not filled with furniture in every corner or decorations on every wall. Instead, you'll find clean spaces, minimal furniture, and lots of breathing room. There's a reason for this, and it's not just about style. The Japanese believe that when we remove physical clutter, we're also clearing mental clutter. It's like our environment and our mind are connected by an invisible thread. When one gets messy, the other follows. This approach isn't about being extreme or living like a monk. It's about being thoughtful with what we allow into our lives. Every item, every commitment, every distraction takes up space in our attention. And attention, as we're learning more and more, is one of our most valuable resources. The Japanese figured this out long before smartphones existed, and their wisdom is probably more relevant now than ever before. What actually happens in your brain when we're surrounded by distractions? Scientists have done some fascinating research on this, and the results back up what the Japanese have known all along. Our brains weren't designed to handle the amount of information we throw at them every single day. When we're constantly switching between tasks, checking notifications, or trying to focus while surrounded by clutter, our brain goes into overdrive. Studies show that the average person checks their phone around 80 times a day. That's roughly once every 12 minutes during our waking hours. Each time we do this, our brain has to stop what it's doing, shift attention, and then try to get back on track. This process uses up mental energy like crazy. But here's where it gets really interesting. Research has found that people who work in cluttered environments experience higher levels of stress hormones compared to those in organized spaces. Our brains are literally reacting to the mess around us, even if we don't consciously notice it. When we remove these distractions, something beautiful happens. Our stress levels drop, our ability to focus improves, and we actually feel more creative and productive. The Japanese call this concept mei, which basically means the space between things. They believe this empty space is just as important as the things themselves. The power of one thing at a time. We've all heard about multitasking, right? For years, people treated it like some kind of superpower. Being able to do 5 things at once was seen as impressive and efficient. But the Japanese have always taken a different approach, and modern science is proving they were right all along. The truth is, our brains can't actually multitask. What we're really doing is rapidly switching between tasks, and each switch costs us time and mental energy. The Japanese practice something called ichigo ichie, which roughly translates to one time, one meeting, or one moment, one thing. It's about giving your complete attention to whatever you're doing right now in this moment. Whether you're having tea, working on a project, or talking to a friend, you're fully there. No phone checking, no mind wandering, no trying to squeeze in other tasks at the same time. When we strip away the distraction of trying to do everything at once, we discover something surprising. We actually get more done, and the quality of what we do improves dramatically. Think about it like this. Would you rather eat a delicious meal while scrolling through your phone, or would you rather truly taste and enjoy every bite? The Japanese tea ceremony is the perfect example of this philosophy. It can take hours just to prepare and drink tea, but every movement is intentional. Every moment is appreciated. That's not wasting time, that's actually living. Creating space in your physical world. So, how do we actually start removing distractions from our lives? Let's begin with the physical stuff around us. The Japanese have a beautiful word called Danshari, which is about decluttering and letting go of things that no longer serve us. It's not about becoming a minimalist overnight or throwing away everything you own. It's about being honest with yourself about what actually adds value to your life. Right now, not someday, not maybe, but right now. If the answer is no, it's time to let it go with gratitude for whatever purpose it served. When we do this, something magical happens. Our spaces become calmer, our minds feel lighter, and we can actually find and enjoy the things we do use. We're not saying you need to live in an empty room, but imagine how it would feel to walk into your home and see only things that you truly love and use. That's the power of removing physical distractions. The digital detox nobody talks about. Now let's address the elephant in the room, our digital lives. This is probably where most of us struggle the most with distractions. The Japanese concept of Shinrin-yoku, or forest bathing, teaches us about the importance of disconnecting from technology and reconnecting with nature. But even beyond that, there's wisdom in how we can approach our digital world. Our phones and computers are amazing tools, but somewhere along the way, we let them become our masters instead of our servants. We wake up and immediately check our phones. We scroll through social media while eating breakfast. We keep tabs open in our browser that we haven't looked at in weeks. We get notifications from apps we barely use. All of this creates a constant background noise in our minds that never really stops. When we start stripping away digital distractions, the changes can be dramatic. Turn off notifications for apps that aren't essential. Delete social media apps from your phone and only check them on your computer at specific times. Close those browser tabs and trust that if something was important, you'll find it again. Create phone-free zones in your home or phone-free times in your day. The Japanese are actually some of the most tech-savvy people on the planet, but they also understand the importance of boundaries. They know when to unplug and create space for real human connection and genuine experiences. Living with what remains. After we've removed all these distractions, both physical and digital, what are we left with? This is where the real transformation happens. We're left with space. Space to think, space to breathe, space to actually experience life instead of just rushing through it. The Japanese call this state mu, which means emptiness, but not in a sad or negative way. It's the emptiness that allows for possibility, creativity, and genuine presence. When we strip away distractions, we discover we have more time than we thought. We find we can actually finish projects we started months ago. We notice we're having better conversations with people because we're truly listening instead of thinking about the next thing. We realize we can enjoy simple moments like a quiet morning cup of coffee or watching the sunset without needing to document it for social media. This doesn't mean life becomes boring or that we turn into robots with empty schedules. Actually, it's the opposite. We become more intentional about what we say yes to. When we do add something into our lives, whether it's a new hobby, a new friendship, or a new commitment, we can give it the attention it deserves. We're not spreading ourselves so thin that everything gets a fraction of our focus. We're able to go deep instead of staying shallow with everything. So what really happens when we strip away distractions using Japanese wisdom? We don't lose anything important. Instead, we gain clarity, peace, and the ability to actually live our lives instead of just managing them. We discovered that less truly can be more, and that the space between things is just as valuable as the things themselves. The Japanese have been teaching this for centuries, and maybe it's time we started listening. The beautiful thing is, you don't have to change everything overnight. Start small. Pick one area of your life and remove just one distraction. See how it feels. Then maybe try another. The path to a simpler, more focused life isn't about perfection. It's about progress and being intentional with what we allow into our world. And who knows, maybe by removing what doesn't matter, we'll finally have room for what does.